were ill and had the flu in the last match and weren't able to play.
That's right. In Finland, they picked something up. Sideline there, neither player able to play. Glenn Hoag again having to shuffle the lineup, but that's the story with the World League. It's grueling, it's tough. There's injuries to deal with. Of course, Rudy Verhoef, Gord Perrin, Dustin Schneider, and Nick Hoag all out with injuries back home in Canada, resting up and trying to get ready for World Championships.
Well, the other thing I'm sure that Glenn Hoag is looking for is a tremendous performance from Dallas Sunius. Last year, he shouldered a lot of the weight on the opposite side as Gavin Schmidt had a injury in his lower leg, but so far this season when he's come in, he's been very, very quiet. His productivity not where it needs to be. So Hoag going back to him again.
Well, it's good to see, and Dallas has a key role to play. Like you said, he comes in often off the bench for a double sub, so he needs to be confident offensively. It's tough to come off the bench and take big swings, but as a double sub player, when they bring in a new opposite and setter, he's got to do just that.
So Australia gets things underway. It's Grigory Sukachev. And it is straight to the outside for Canada off the block. And the first point to the Maple Leafs.
And Canada have secured second place in the pool. They can't go on. Tonight is all about pride and playing with the Maple Leaf on your chest. Van Langfeldt firing up from the first point.
Crowd getting into that serve. Oh, a tight ball, but handled very well on the front court. Again, that's Sukachev cutting that ball off.
And Aiden Zingle, the big man, Australia's leading scorer in the competition. Amazing as he's a middle player. Starts it off where he left off last night.
Big left hand, but the ball is kept alive. Here's an opportunity for Australia. Lewis, reaction dig. And this one is hit deep. The lines person called it in. The players and the coaches calling it out.
Well, first swing for Jason DeRocco. Has a lot of line to go at there. Quick call from the lines, as you can see on the right side of your screen, but overruled from the up official.
So the up referee gives that ball to Australia. And Canada comes out of the pipe. And DeRocco makes up for that miss with a gigantic attack.
JD just pasting this ball back to position 5. Great tempo, nice timing. You can see he's floating right into that ball, can get its full weight behind it.
He's taking off from behind the 3-meter line, drifting 2 meters in the air and smashing it at the 1-meter line. But this one drifts. Oh, no, it didn't drift out. It actually, the bottom fell out of it, and it scores. It's an ace serve. I was sure that floater was out. So Sunius gets on the board. Oh, an errant pass from Perry. Here's Canada with a chance to get a point. And this one is hit. Did it touch the block? Nope, referee didn't see it. All the Canadians appealing for the touch. Not going to get it. As Aiden Zingle back to serve. Duff in the middle on the cutback.
Good set there from Jay Blankenau. It's nice and high where it's got to be for Justin Duff. He can elevate. You'll see here. Great rotation with the body and able to turn it back to position 1. Looks like the Australians are leaving the line open, though, on the right side for Canadian attackers, and we've been unable to take advantage so far.
Duff, hometown of Winnipeg. Van Langfeldt puts this ball in play. Oh, and there's that right side, Edgar. And boy, you could just hear the sound of that as he ripped into it.
Well, Thomas Edgar is a gigantic man. Incredibly tall, but he's a big guy as well. A lot of weight behind that swing. Started the match well yesterday, but tapered off. Don't know if he has the endurance to go into the long matches.
And that ball is long by about 2 meters out the back. No choice there for the Canadians. They knew it was out from the start. Here's a float serve, handled easily. And it's off the block in the middle, and Moak sees some early action.
Well, they call him Nemo. It's Nehemiah Moat, he's quick, he's up fast. Great arm swing there, and that's an interesting shot. Kind of cross body, even though he's floating in towards the setter. Going back towards position 5.
Adam White's serve hits the net. Plot off that as Dallas Sunius comes out of the back row, and very early on his timing looks better than it has been in the last few matches.
There's the Australian block. Wasn't formed well on this play. That's Blankeno creating that with a quick release. They were slow to react. Sunius takes full advantage.
He's a big man at 6'7" is Dallas Sunius. And here is the 6'4" Blankeno setter. Great spin serve. And there's the three-quarter push in the middle, and again it's Moat.
We saw this from Sukachev last night against the Canadians. He likes to establish his middle early in the match, get those middle players involved in the attack, then starts to dish stuff outside and gets the block guessing. Same story here, Moat with 2 kills.
And there's an errant hand pass. Dan Lewis does not like that call, but he's not going to get any flexibility from Ben Yosef of Tunisia. And there's another difficult hand pass. It's an overbump, and Zingle mishit that one. Looked like it was going out of bounds, but it just caught a finger of Vigras.
Graham Vigras in a difficult situation, spinning around, trying to find the ball and the net, possibly caught the top of the tape and a little piece of the ball as well.
And Vigras had no choice there but to let it go, and Canada trails in the first technical timeout.
Change of view, a kaleidoscope of fantasy and arms.
Welcome back to Sydney World League action as we take a look at Canada's performance. Take a bit of a review and the number of points they won on the right side there, Paul, really crucial.
They are every single match important in World League. And you see at the bottom, 6 home matches, Canada only able to take 12 out of a possible 18 points. That cost them. Looking back to that match with Australia and Edmonton where they had a couple match points in set number 3 against the Aussies, could have put them away for a full 3, ended up going the distance and losing the match on the flip side. But Belgium really hasn't slipped. They've taken maximum points almost every time throughout. Even had Canada capitalized in a few of those matches, they'd still be behind the Belgians.
And Australia is keeping this ball alive. Set to the outside to Sunius, off the block, and that scores a difficult hit for the lefty.
It was a good put away for Sunius there, and nice roaming defense. Deep in 6, Van Langfeldt picking up that ball off the hands. It's the change of pace here that fools the Australian block. He took a little bit off it. Worked the hands.
Just talking about those points again, I'm sure Canada would like to replay some of those 5 setters. This one, an ace serve off the net, the little sniveler, fools Sanderson. When you look back to those 5 setters, because Belgium actually lost in 5. Both of their matches against Finland only got a single point, but Canada was just too far behind. So we are all tied up here, though, as another rocket from Duraco. Canadian block is there, and that ball just dropped down, and it actually caught a piece of the line. Australia just caught looking.
This is great hustle from the Canadian block, working hard to get 3 men up on Sanderson, who had a huge match offensively yesterday for Australia.
Another big serve from Duraco. Here comes Edgar, and this one's down the line and off the block. So he gets Australia out of trouble, the big 7-footer.
He's a tough guy to block. His approach speed varies sometimes. This one he kind of slowed down and decelerated in the approach, but then the arm swing was quick. It's tough to time the block against a big guy like that.
Canada on the offense. Oh, and there's a beautiful little tip What a sales job from Van Lankveld.
That is just excellent attack from Van Lankveld. Perfectly placed shot, just over top of the hands, right behind the block where you want it. It's going to be eliminating a player if it's dug, and incredibly difficult to set as well, as it's only going to bounce off the pancake, a meter or two into the air. Great shot.
So Van Lankveld varying his shots. Here's another errant pass. Block gets a piece of it from the Canadians. They're in transition. Outside, it's off the block and deep. And Canada scores another point, looking very steady here.
And steady on the arm of Van Lankveld. Again, number 10 for Canada on the outside. Great connection here with his setter and hitting all kinds of shots.
The defense set up cross court there. Not able to track that ball down. It's Coach Hogue looking on. This pass a little better. And the finish a little better as well.
Again, it's Thomas Edgar on the outside. The big man plays pro ball in Korea. You see he's got all kinds of line to swing at here and beats the defense back door.
Sanderson, booming serve, but it's handled by the Canadians. Coming out of the back row, Perry was there, but had no support.
Well, it's a great fix from Duraco. This ball a little bit underset. He's dropping the elbow and has to push it through the block. And the defense not touched that. Could have been going out maybe because he couldn't get on top of it, but did well to find hands.
Zingle trying to go up for the second jump, but just a little bit too late. And Australia tries to return the favor, but it's a violation from the back row.
Take a look there. Sanderson flying out of that pipe play. Got to be clean, though. Keep the feet off the line.
So Canada is up by 3 here now. They were down at the first technical timeout, but they're ahead.
I know I've got to train hard today and harder tomorrow. To be number 1, you've got to train like you're number 2. I push myself for my team and my country.
RE7, rethink your drink.
We've talked about Canada's injury situation, Paul, and if you look at the roster changes over the last 6 weeks, Perrin out, Verhoof out, Hogue out, Schneider out, and coupled with their sickness, it's been a struggle.
It has, and that's almost an unfortunate trademark of the World League, with these teams flying all over the world week in and week out. These big bodies and small airplane seats, getting stiff and having to play big matches. It's so hard on the body. Injuries do tend to happen, and Canada has been unlucky with them.
And that one just hit the floor right in front of Adam White. There's nothing he could do there. Very late reaction. Had a couple of aces scored against him in yesterday's match as well. So he is out early here. Uriarte pulling the trigger and wanting to get better passing for his team in there so they can feed that middle, which has been so effective. And this pass taken easily. Little half-speed shot. Lewis is down. Can't bring it up.
Well, Canada tests Thomas Douglas Powell on the serve receive there. Plays at the University of Winnipeg under Coach Larry McKay. Canada goes right at him with that first serve, trying to put the pressure on. Delasunius getting it done from the service line. 2 aces already in this match.
Perfect pass for the Canadians. Duff, he's there. Oh, what a miraculous dig. Almost a tic-tac-toe, but Nemo can't get it to go over.
A little panic there from the Australians after that great dig. Nemo at the net turns and panics and gives that fist ball. If you just take a little bit more time to have a better contact, has to keep that up after the huge, tremendous defense effort there from his team.
Tone Van Lankveld from Rivers, Manitoba, gets an over bump, and that is a gift to Duraco. He just hits that ball and says, thank you very much for that one. And boy, at the technical timeout, Canada is up by 5 points over Australia after being down in the first timeout.
Right here, I feel alive, I feel sad, I feel welcome to the day with open arms. There's something new, a change of view, a kaleidoscope of fantasy and shock. Arms
Hey folks, if you want more World League information, you can like Volleyball Canada on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at VBallCanada. All the information is there for you about volleyball in Canada, including the World League action.
Australia needs to give their head a shake at this point in the set. They're absolutely flat. The passing isn't on. They've been getting overbumps to the Canadians. The attack isn't there. The intensity isn't there.
Well, we said from the top, the consistency is a factor for this Australian team. Wondered if they could do it 2 nights in a row. And so far, they haven't been able to get it done, but they're hanging around. And this is what we saw from them in yesterday's match. Down by maybe 3-4 points at the 17-point mark and able to come back.
Harrison Peacock entering the match here for Australia to hopefully create one of those turnarounds we saw yesterday. And this is the point in the match where Canada needs to maintain their control and try to extend this lead, build on that, and maintain their level.
Exactly. Play with that consistency. So Peacock, his first serve, plays in Verona, Italy, first division. And a beautiful back row shot, Sunius, and he landed almost right on the center line there from 3.5 meters back. Look at him fly.
Well, that's just it. You see number 7 get up here, the big lefty, working the line. Tough guy to stop when he's in tempo like that. Great shot from Sunius.
And this one touches the tape. Perry has to make the set with a 1-foot takeoff. Bit of a miscommunication. Showtime for Australia. And they make Canada pay.
Flying out of the back row, Paul Sanderson on that pipe play again. Great to run in transitions. The Canadian block slow to reset. You see Blankenau on the right side of your screen, not able to step in and help with the pipe. He has the hand up to his teammates.
Big momentum play, but the steam goes out on that long serve. And that was ill-timed from Douglas Powell.
Well, the Australians injecting Paul Carroll into the front row with that double sub. We saw Peacock come to the back row. He was just the equalizer yesterday. Every time he came on the floor as a sub, brought Australia right back into each set.
Blankenau, tough serve. Oh, a nice back set. What a combination there. Nemo anticipating and getting to the right spot.
Harrison Peacock doing a great job here, keeping Moat rolling. We're just feeding him sets. It's a steady diet here, and he's scoring at will.
Another pass from the Canadians. Oh, and not sure what happened there, whether it was too low or Vigras was in the wrong spot, but that didn't look good.
Well, this ball doesn't come cleanly out of the hands of Blankenau. It's underset. Vigras nowhere to go with it.
So Canada, big lead. But that ball is tracked down. Here comes Australia again, going for another point in transition, but not this time. Sunius. Oh, and he finds the deep corner on a really difficult cross-court hit.
Tough shot for the big lefty. He's falling inside the court. The set from Lewis didn't quite get out for him, and being left-handed, he's got to reach over top of himself and try to pull that ball in the deep corner, and does so.
Well, this is certainly the best we've seen of number 7 for the Canadian team in this World League Series. And Duraco is out, not by much. Canada maintaining a 3-point gap. Set 1, best of 5. And Carroll returns the favor And this Australian team, definitely not the same group that we saw play yesterday. The energy, not quite there. See if Canada can extend the lead. Australia from the right side. Carroll, it's dug, kept alive. Here comes Australia again in the middle, and this time Aiden Zingle, and he is the point getter.
Well, the reflex reaction from Tom van Langveld flicked that ball over in the Australian court, but they're able to run the big man in that 31 shoot set, a quick ball into the seam, and Zingle makes no mistake.
Big serve. Van Langveld, he's stuffed in the middle. Rather by the middle on the outside, and Australia again trying to close that gap.
The 15, Douglas Powell, bringing some fire to the court. This is what Australia needs to get back in this match and get the crowd on their side, get some help from their fans.
So Canada has called a timeout. They need to gather themselves here. Same situation yesterday. This timeout is brought to you by RE7, the official drink of Team Canada Volleyball. Rethink your drink.
Well, at this point in the match yesterday, Glenn Hoag was already on a simmer with the team. A slow boil, which came to a head later on in the match, but definitely a different look from him today, a little more composed as we have a look at John Uriarte there, the Argentinian-born head coach of this Australian squad. His second stint with the team, a legendary player himself, that epic Argentinian squad back in the 80s.
Here's Canada, a little half-speed roll, and it is Sunius again. And boy, when he's on his game, he's a tough guy to stop.
Well, it is a bit of a confidence issue. Dallas had slow starts to some of the other matches and wasn't really brought into the match in the best way. He's given really difficult balls on his first swings. Tough to come in and be confident, take a high-risk shot. This match is able to get his flow, get into it. Much more confident, can go to a variety of shots now.
Well, Sanderson was handcuffed on that pass, so Canada gets another opportunity. But Sunius is dug this time. And it's a little half-speed middle shot from Zingle that scores.
Well, these are the kind of shots Aiden Zingle will be learning, playing professionally, one of the best leagues in the world in Italy. Recognizing the block is up with him, they're holding, the hands were high, switches up to a changeup, perfectly placed.
Also won the title in Sweden before he moved to Italy, so a very experienced player. And here's another point opportunity for Australia, and they make no mistake as that ball is ripped down the line by Tom Douglas Powell.
Well, Jay Blankenau flushed that initial ball down the Australian side, but it caught someone's head and popped up. It's a nice, easy free ball off the block.
And another timeout has called as Canada's lead is evaporating. The crowd trying to breathe energy into this Australian squad.
No fool, just you held very close, very tight, and then one step and a step.
Uriarte getting back to the basics there with his players about block technique, wanting them square at the net, getting that good penetration over, cutting those angles on the hitters. So we have a look there, number 15, Thomas Douglas Powell, and he's been playing for the University of Winnipeg in Manitoba. Came in and had a good impact in the match yesterday. Canada went after him with the serve, but he brought some good offensive fire and energy to the court.
So Canada clinging to a 1-point lead. Oh, and make that 2 points as they get a gift with a net serve at a crucial time in the first set.
Number 7 out, Sanders in.
A double substitution on the floor now. Adam Simak coming in. And TJ Sanders.
Be interesting to see who goes to the right side here for Team Canada. Simak coming in place of the setter. He's in the right side position as we have the double sub.
Two middles in there for Canada, going with the big wall in the front row. Big serve. And Australia is still able to find the gap in the block.
Nehemiah Moat, yeah, the middle going up against two Canadian middles here. It's Duff and Simak. Blows it right by Duff. He's up quick. Decent penetration, but it's a great shot from Moat working that sharp angle. Tough ball to hit, and he does it.
Quick arm swing from Moat. Just finishes that off. A 1-point game. Big side out here for this Canadian team as Douglas Powell's on the end line. Bit of an errant pass, and it is stuffed on the outside. What a block there. Looked like Moat got over so fast.
Well, it's a slower set. You see Blankenau forced a bump set. Duraco going for a little too much against the Australian triple. He's got to work higher off the hands or bring the change up.
And again, Canada is let off the hook by an errant serve from Harrison Peacock, the veteran. So this one is close. Perfect pass, right side. This one's dug though. Here's Canada in transition. Kept alive. It's a free ball. Canada needs the finish right here. Can they do it? Yes, on the outside. The ball is thrashed by Duraco.
Well, a Manitoba native given the one-on-one situation from his setter, Jay Blankenau. Making no mistake, Duraco had to come up with that kill after the previous error in crunch time here, and he puts Canada to set point.
And Australia has called a timeout.
It's a nice quick release there from Blankenau, firing that ball out, flat trajectory, and Duraco in tempo.
Blue Jays baseball is on the West Coast as Toronto is taking on the West Division leading Oakland A's later today on Sportsnet East, Ontario, West and Pacific. The 4-game series wraps up at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Stay tuned for that Blue Jays baseball. Canada, their first set point, have led throughout, saw their lead evaporate a little bit, but have managed to stay on top here and have the first set point opportunity. This ball is handled in the middle, and a pipe set. Again, that's Sanderson's second error. The block is right there, and the ball is rejected. Canada wins set number 1.
That's Jay Blankenau making the adjustment here. He got caught earlier, stepping out. Australia running a pipe at him. That time he made the reaction, stepped in. Canada got the blockers up and win the set because of it.
So the Canadians have quieted the crowd here in the first set of World League action.
I know I've got to train hard today and harder tomorrow. To be number 1, you've got to train like you're number 2. I push myself for my team and my country.
RE7, rethink your drink.
This is what men do to try to get every hair. This is what we do. Introducing Fusion Pro Glide, rebuilt with FlexBall technology. Makes maximum contact over tricky contours and gets virtually every hair. New FlexBall for the Fusion Pro Glide. Gillette, the best a man can get.
No, I can't.
New Doritos Roulette. There's a hot chip in every handful. Eat another if you dare.
Welcome back to the Sydney Olympic Park Sports Center. To take a look at some of the statistics there, Paul.
Well, always important to look at serving. Canada getting it done. It's Dallas Sunius with a couple aces with his jump float. 3 aces for Canada. Australia, 5 errors. Definitely costly for them. And of course, blocking and attacks, both teams were fairly even as Australia made a run there mid-set again, closed the gap, but it was their unforced errors that really handed it back to Canada.
So the same start as the last match these teams played where Canada took set number 1. Duraco with a big serve, but this one's handled, and a nice combination, the overload on the outside and the put away.
Well, we've seen the Australians start with middle early in sets. This time they elect to go right to the outside because that middle's been established. Canada has to respect it. It's Vigras going up, getting caught, and it's a one-on-one on the outside.
Oh, the serve is taken in the middle. The block is there, though. Great anticipation from the veteran number 1.
It's the big captain. Excellent read there, going back at Vigras. And dropping the hands to the left, taking away that cross-court shot for him.
So Australia getting out to an early 2-0 lead here. But Sunius comes in and finishes that run.
Dallas Sunius is tall, he's got long arms and a big reach. You see the effect of it there when he uses it. He's going high, right over top of the block, and that should be his shot. He should go at that until they can reach back and stop him.
Vigras played in set in France this year. And there's the cut back from the Italian superstar Zingo.
Sukachev here dealt a great pass from Sanderson right up to the net. He's got all the options, and he just feeds the big man so well. Their timing is absolutely on.
Closing in on 100 kills for the World League so far is Zingo. And there is, well, it looked like a back row block, but it wasn't called. But Canada, a bit of a Keystone Cops play there as the ball just drops to the ground.
Little panic on the Canadian side as this rattles around. Have a look here. Van Langveld closest to the blocker there. Tries to pop it up, but it goes directly in the tape and knocked down.
Interesting play. This pass is handled by Duraco. Dig from Lewis on the block. And the finish on the outside off the block. Smart play from Van Langveld.
What's the veteran libero, Dan Lewis, bailing out his teammate right there. Have a look at Sunius, who's going a little too sharp, bringing that ball down, got slammed. But Dan Lewis, number 3, staying low, working hard on coverage, popped it up and gave Canada another chance.
Here is Sunius. Quick release on that serve. And off the block is Edgar. Teams just trading side outs here.
Sometime when you have a differential in the block height, as you see here, Duff, who's so high in the air, he opens up a seam because his arm is actually exposed, the side of his hand there. That ball just gets knocked down off the side of the block.
And there's Justin Duff out of the middle on a perfect pass. Blankenau delivers that package.
Well, I like to play at Blankenau. He's steady out there. Seems to be a leader on the floor, talking to the guys, giving feedback. Nice traits to see in your setter.
Of course, Dustin Schneider, the normal starting setter for Canada, is out. Canadians going with Blankenau and TJ Sanders, who performed well, as that ball is put away by Douglas Powell, who came off the bench yesterday's match and had a fine performance, and he's up early here for Adam White and continuing that steady play. And you could hear Edgar putting everything into that, but it wasn't even close. And the favors returned by Justin Duff. That seemed to catch a bit of an updraft in the last third of the court.
We saw yesterday that with the jump floats, the passers did have some trouble taking balls that were suddenly dropping low in front of them or sitting up with the hands. There's probably a lot of movement down there on the floor when that ball's floating.
I'm sure Duff was hoping that that one would drop down. And there's a one-handed Kong block from Blankenau, but it's kept alive. Nice dig from Lewis. Here's a back row shot. Sunius gets a piece of the block, piece of the defense.
There's Douglas Powell, fully extended, trying to save this. Not sure if this swing catches hands. Looked like it did. Al recognizes it and tries to take the stab to get it up.
So Sunius is in a great rhythm here in this match. Oh, and Blankenau launched that one.
Well, that's the worst serve we've seen, I think, from Team Canada. Nick Hogue in second place with a missile he hit in Edmonton, but that is definitely not the best effort from Blankenau.
So as that ball's on its way to Brisbane, we'll take a pause in the action. Welcome back to World League action. Had a chance to talk with Uriarte, the coach of this Australian team, about how important it is for Australia to play at home, but how difficult it is because most of their matches are played on the road.
For 14 years, we made all our achievements just playing overseas. For us, it's our normality. We don't suffer any of those. Probably has been much more stressful to play at home. Last year our World Championship qualification tournament, and then this year our first weekend at home. We felt the pressure to be surrounded by the people we love, and it was very interesting experience. Getting through that for the first time. Then about that, it's nothing new. It just has been the normal way to perform in our short history.
So Canada has a lot of the same issues as Australia in that these players are well known throughout Europe, but not so much here in their home country, which is why it's great to have the World League in Canada and playing around the world. Teams have been trading side outs, and Duraco finishes that one off.
Another pipe play there from Canada, which is working well so far. Duraco hitting it all over the place. He's had a low set, that one a little bit off course as well, but he's doing a great job of working with the arm to fix it, get that ball in play.
Great elevation from Duraco. His father was a former national team coach for Canada, now coaching in Dubai. This ball off the tape. Oh, and there's a dig down the line from big Graham Vigrass, but can't turn it in.
Number 4, Sanderson, coming off his best offensive match last night against Canada. He was on fire from the service line and swinging. We see the power he has there. Nice reach, excellent finish.
And another long serve from the Australians. So whenever they seem to be getting on a bit of a roll, they commit an unforced error, and that's got to cause gray hairs for Uriarte. But they're still up by 2 here. And a little back set to Zingle.
Sugachev again, he's got confidence in his captain. He's running all the way across to position 4 there, but knows the big man's going to follow him right behind his head. He just flicks that back, no problem. Great quick set there.
One-handed set from Blankenau, but it's kept alive by Australia. Here's another reload. And the right side shot is finally finished by Edgar on a heavy hit.
We see the little wave there from Dan Lewis to Tone Van Langeveld saying, pull that in, pull it in. We're getting beat cross court in the approach. Wanting his blocker to take a little bit more of that angle away from the big man who continues to hammer from the right side.
Well, and a 4-point gap now for the Australians as Canada trying to keep this ball alive, but the block is there, and Sunius can't get it past the wall.
Australia starting to extend their lead here and doing it with block pressure. Another great serve puts Canada in trouble. And Moat closing it up there with Douglas Powell.
And you see the Rocky from Douglas Powell there after that play, and Canada has called a timeout.
Well, again, the key thing here for Canada is the reaction. You're down 5 points mid-set. This is definitely not over, but you need to stabilize the ship here, get the passing game back, get your side out going, and start to execute on block defense. But the Canadians with that inconsistent, they haven't had that momentum they've been able to create and turn it around here. But this is what Glenn Hoag wants to see. He's testing these young players to see how they react under pressure, and then he can have a more informed decision of who to take to World Championships to get the most productivity.
And right after that timeout, the ball sails long, so that point is awarded to Canadian coach Glenn Hoag. Canada trying to close the gap. Ben Langfeld, big serve. But a perfect pass, and Moat is there, but here comes Canada, back set. Oh, and that one just made its way over the net, but a free opportunity kept alive by Lewis. Best rally we've had so far, and Moat finishes it.
Well, even though there's some off-speed shots, they were great ones in that rally. Dallas Sunius did a neat thing here. He put that tip into Edgar. It was really short, but then Edgar somehow able to get up and get in transition there. Gave them another chance at it, then Moat on his second swing out of the middle hammered it.
And Sunius off the block. And that right side is very effective for Team Canada right now, and it's nice to see some productivity there from a player other than Gavin Schmidt, because the Canadians need to have substitutes to fill in. Schmidt, of course, getting great volume, as is that man, Edgar, on the right side.
We've seen throughout World League for Canada have success. They needed productivity on the left from Winters and Perrin, the regular starters on the left side, balance it out with, of course, Schmidt on the right, and then a steady diet a minute as well. When they're playing that kind of volleyball, it's so hard to stop.
And this one is blown right into the bottom of the net by Douglas Powell. So Canada still trailing by 4 as we close in on the second technical timeout. Jay Blankenau from Sherwood Park, Alberta, and he puts the second one in a row out the back of his serves. Last one was a big miss. This one a little bit shorter, but still out the back, and Canada trails by 5.
I know I've got to train hard today and harder tomorrow. To be number 1, you've got to train like you're number 2. I push myself for my team and my country.
RE7, rethink your drink.
Volleyball Canada is proud to announce that Calgary will be the host city of the 2015 Volleyball Canada Championships. This week-long event combines the national championships of all youth age categories into the largest sporting event in Canada. 2 venues, 50 courts, over 800 teams, and more than 10,000 athletes participating, all enjoying this great sport. Once again, that's in May of 2015 in Calgary. And here in Sydney, Canada is trailing by 5 in set 2 after taking the first set. And there was some errant defense on the part of Australia. Nobody moved on that one.
Absolutely frozen. Mesmerized by the Canadian attack, but Jay Blankenau there with an athletic play to make that set. He was chasing that flat pass to the net. Great body control to not cross the center line.
Duraco, big serve. It's an overbump. Gives Canada a chance. And the angle just too acute. A blown opportunity for the Canadians.
Gregory Sukichev there fronting here, but Tom van Langveld going too much cross court. He's got to work the hands there as that ball did fall inside on him. He can't get a reach on that angle.
So Canada gives up an easy one there. And the block is on Vigras in the middle. Sunius has to tip. Perry's there. And there's another beautiful combination. Such quick play from these big men as they're coming back into the net. Adam Zingel, terrific footwork.
Zukachev again, who fooled everyone on this play, dashing into the net here. Canada thinks it's coming over. They drop the hands for a moment as he fires it to the captain, who hammers it home with a fairly ugly shot there, but effective because it scores the point.
Well, that set was a bit errant, but this referee at least not going to call that. As you see, that ball just catches a piece of the corner. And at the timeout, Canada is now trailing by 6, and there's new energy and new life into this Australian team. It's different than that first set where guys were going through the motions. Now it looks more genuine. Looks like they're getting some rhythm.
They're using the energy in the building well, and that's what Uriarte was talking about, how they're used to playing on the road. No one comes to Australia for matches, so home games feel foreign to them. The term home court advantage is starting to mean something for the Australian team.
Canada on the outside, the block is there. Kept alive, but there's 4 contacts.
Another breakdown for the Canadians here. Players in the right spots for coverage, but there's the panic touches, the quick jabbing motions. They got to stay low, relax, play this ball up nice and high. Durocher and Vigras almost standing on top of each other there.
A little frustration from the Canadians here. They're trying to fight their way out of a hole in set number 2. This pass is on the money as TJ Sanders has come in, and he sets up a beautiful shot cross court by Dallas Sunius.
You see TJ getting a little peek at the Australian block there, trying to see what the opposing middle blocker is doing. Looking for some kind of sign of where an opening might be.
Nice set back. The pass is there. The set's there. The attack's there. And undiggable for Team Canada.
What Zukachev is doing here, by being able to pick up all these errant passes and still make great sets, it gives the passers confidence just to put it up anywhere near the net. They can be aggressive with the passing. Zukachev will clean it up for him, and then the hitters go after it.
And somehow Canada finds its way in. Yeah, you know, it's really interesting because when you look at the numbers, Australia is not a great passing team statistically, and yet their most effective attacker is out of the middle. So it has to be either the setter or your attacker that is doing a terrific job. Either way, they're getting it done. And here they come on the right side. A pancake dig. Hand fully stretched out, but here comes Australia again. And a little bit of an overbump gives the setter the opportunity. TJ Sanders saying thank you very much.
Well, there's a breakdown from Zukachev. That free ball was taken by Paul Sanderson deep in the corner where Dan Lewis had fired it. Then the set to him, you see there, he's chasing it. He's not in position to hit that pipe ball after passing the free ball.
Oh, and another errant set with all kinds of rotation. Came off like a helicopter blade, but it's ruled legal.
So the Tunisian ref saying let the kids play tonight. Ugly contact there, definitely not a clean set. Should have been called.
And Duff gets it right back on his big shot in the middle. So the officials have set the standard, Ben Yosef. And basically that is that anything goes, at least from the setter's perspective. And Van Langveld tries to make it crawl over the net, but that's not going to happen. And Australia is closing in on set number 2. Back set. And that ball is hit again cross court. And the big man is down and gets a piece of the ball, but just hit too hard.
Thomas Edgar switching to a jump float there after missing a couple spin serves. Australia focusing on Jason Duraco. He's been the serving target. He's not the best passer, but can make up for it with some big swings out of transition.
That ball touches the block. You know, it's interesting when you think of a guy like Edgar, the 7-footer. There was interest in him from the NBA, from Aussie rules football, and from rugby. But he said, you know what? Volleyball is my favorite sport. I've been playing it since I was 8 or 9 years old, and I'm going to stick with volleyball. And here he is, playing against this Canadian team in the World League. And this one is boomed over the block. Sanderson didn't have any approach on that, just going for hands.
Not the best stuff there from Sanderson after Edgar comes up with a big dig. Impressive that he made that dig and then got out into transition to have a swing. Sanderson going for too much.
Well, the margin for error very slim there for Paul Sanderson, but he's going to get another shot at it. And this time he threads the needle, puts it to the floor.
Grigory Sukachev showing confidence in his experienced left side there. Coming off the court, he's got 1 or 2 options, maybe able to hit the pipe there. Goes to Sanderson outside and he connects.
Quick ball to the backside for Canada. And what will this call be? There's no violation there. Looked like Australia was appealing for an over contact.
Definitely a bit of penetration in the opponent's court there from Sunius.
Yeah, I would say so. So another missed call perhaps. But the calls are evenly distributed on both sides. Set point though for Australia as here they come. And it's out of the pipe, but kept alive, is it? Yes, right in the corner. Perry wasn't sure, he let it go.
TJ Sanders stepping in and taking it on for his team. That's just good positioning on defense to get in the right spot for that. No time to react, the ball's hit so hard, but great body angle, deflects it up, what you want to do, and gets the lucky bounce in the corner.
Duraco again, takes something off this one to control it. And the pipe is there, but Lewis is there as well. It's the turn and burn off the block. Here comes Canada. It's going to be a high ball. Sunius off the block and out of bounds. Another point for the Canadians, and they're trying to build momentum.
And it's much better transition hitting from Sunius. He's going high here, not trying to hit that sharp angle in danger situation with 3 Australian blockers in front of him.
And Australia has called a timeout as they've blown 2 set points.
Change of view, a kaleidoscope of fantasy singing
Welcome back as you take a look at the Group 2 road to the Final Four. Pool C, Canada's pool, we know, and take a look at those other pools, Paul.
Well, Pool D, France has come out on top. That's assured. They're going on to the next round here in Australia. But Pool E, there's still a little bit of drama left. The Netherlands need to come up with a win to extinguish Portugal's hopes of catching them. They both have 1 match left.
So as per last year, World League coming down to the last night of competition to determine which teams are going through. And Canada making a serious push here. Is it too little, too late? They've scored 3 in a row.
Well, several of the points coming on Australia's own unforced errors.
Jason Duraco been very consistent on that spin serve. Takes something off it there. You could see that. Gives Edgar a chance. A one-arm dig. No, it's not going to happen. The big man bails out the volley ruse, and they take set number 2.
Well, it's bound to happen. Australia with just too many chances to win that set. But at least the Canes are staying in it and putting up a fight and getting momentum looking at set number 3.
And so, as the teams change sides, we are all tied here, 1 set apiece.
I know I've got to train hard today and harder tomorrow. To be number 1, you've got to train like you're number 2. I push myself for my team and my country.
RE7, rethink your drink.
They say his magic erasers tackle so many messes that Mr. Clean once wrote a book about them. Not only do they clean everyday dirt, they clean a lot of unexpected stuff too, like scuffed up shoes, tough stuck-on sticker gunk, and lots more. In fact, his book got so full, he made a website instead. Share your magic eraser tips at mycleanbook.ca.
Subway, eat fresh.
You okay? Yeah, I'm cool. You sure you're okay?
Experience the fresh effect with every bite of a premium lobster salad or sandwich at Subway restaurants. Tasty chunks of Atlantic Canada lobster lightly mixed with mayo on a bed of crunchy lettuce. Subway, eat fresh.
Welcome back to World League action, coming to you from Sydney, Australia, as we take a look at some of the statistics from that second set.
Well, it's the reverse from set number 1. Australia coming out this time on top, leading the way in attacks and at the net with the blocks, but unforced errors shook their confidence late in that set. Canada mounting a comeback. They really had no business being any kind of a threat there, but put together a good run there with Duraco at the service line. Got a little momentum, and hopefully that carries through here into set number 3.
Well, you're absolutely right, Paul. In the middle of that second set, Canada seemed to go to sleep. Lost the fire and certainly lost the consistency. As you take a look at the serves and faults, neither team scoring an ace at this point.
Australia from the service line last night, stellar performance, 8 aces, only 8 errors to go along with that. Already 4 errors alone in that set to no aces. You see the difference in their service game already.
Day number 3 of the Calgary Stampede Rodeo follows volleyball later this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 12:30 p.m. Pacific on Sportsnet 1. Then at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, more action from the Stampede on Sportsnet 1 as we feature the Rangeland Derby. Great action coming from Calgary and great action coming from Sydney, Australia. As we are ready to start set 3. Always an important set in best-of-5 matches. TJ Sanders thinking he got the starting nod when it was actually Jay Blankenau.
I like the attitude. He just walked out there expecting to be playing after his performance at the end of set number 2.
Yes, you gotta like it. TJ Sanders playing his first year of pro ball in the Netherlands for Abiyant Lycurgus. And there's a pipe shot, but it's a violation. And an error cost Canada the first point in set number 3.
Well, we got our first good look at Jason Duraco against Australia in Edmonton along with Nicholas Hogue. Glenn Hogue put in that duel. Maybe less passing stability, but way more offense from the two of them. But there were back row violations on the pipe from Nick Hogue several times. Now it's Jason Duraco with the same error.
Well, a beautiful dig from Australia. That's 2 in a row. Down that line there, and that's Sukhachov with the quick hands.
Well, he led all diggers in the match yesterday, averaging 3.2 digs a set. Touches everything and moves so well, and his ability to track down balls too, the mobility. He's a fairly big guy for a setter and can track down balls all over the court.
Well, and he was born in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Played in countries around the world before making the national team, and he is the quarterback for this Australian team that scores the side out.
Graham Vigrass caught with his arms on his, close to his body there, has no chance to absorb that. You see his arms are in close as the ball's hit on, nowhere to take that energy out of the ball. Ricochets off out the side.
Sanderson, oh, he's got a rocket. Oh, and there's an interference call.
Well, Jay Blankenau making this happen, elevating straight up on the plane of the net. Australia can't interfere with him when he's trying to set that ball. They can touch the ball on the plane of the net but can't cross it.
Hard to see from that angle, but the referee was quick on that call. And Edgar didn't like the call, so he decided to finish the play.
Some nice snap there. He's got a good reach. It's the finish, the high arm. Loading up the topspin on this shot and beating outside block.
Defense just moving a little bit there. And Justin Duff tries to cut that ball back, and it's straight into the net on his own side. And two of Canada's plays here have resulted in errors, point errors rather, of Australia's 4 points. But there's no error there. Sunias in flight.
Well, looking at the numbers, the Australians are going to start going to a complete read situation as Canada's only had 3 kills through the middle, and they've all come from Justin Duff. Not a lot of production. The only kills coming through the center of the court for Canada in that zone are from the back row with the pipe attack.
So we'll watch for that. The Australian middles, what they're doing, as they are on the attack right now, and certainly their middles have been successful in that department.
You got to remember here, Moat, who's going to town in the middle for Australia, he's 21 years old. Only been playing serious volleyball, organized volleyball for a couple of years, but huge talent.
6'8.5". His father played for the Samoan team, gave him the inspiration to start playing volleyball. Thomas Edgar started playing his volleyball at 8 years of age. Joined the national team in 2008. Luke Perry handcuffed on that ball. Oh, and there's a stuff block. And that's one of the few times you're going to see Tom Edgar get crush blocked.
Well, this is a beauty. Vigrass, Duraco, tight together. And that's a momentum killer for the Australians.
That ball's down before the attacker's even down. And a little easy line shot from Douglas Powell.
You see all the line that's open there. Blankenau leaving it a little too much responsibility if the hitter can hit past the line back into the court.
And a bit of a shallow set. Canada gets another opportunity though. It's Duraco, and this time he finds his way through the block.
Well, he's a dynamic player, super fast arm. You can see there, even from the approach off the net, able to accelerate. Generate a ton of arm speed. He hits a heavy ball.
Duraco from East St. Paul, Manitoba. Set to the outside, and that catches a piece of the block. Van Langfeld caught in playing a little too shallow there on defense, couldn't track it down.
You see Sugachev there reaching out. His hands were well in front, no hope of setting that ball back, but the Canadian block unable to read it. Their left side blockers stepping out.
Little short serve there, kept alive in the back row. Edgar sprawled down, but Canada gets a free ball. Here they come. The block gets a piece of it. Another chance for the Canadian team. This is the third one. Make that number 4. And that is Sunias with a big left hand from the outside. No chance for Australia.
Patience from the Canadian attack, using the block, playing the coverage game, and waiting for the chance to have the one-on-one, which they did there perfectly. How about number 7, or sorry, the 7-footer Edgar, coming up with a couple huge digs there for his team again, sprawling out, getting up. He's doing it all.
Very athletic for a big man. Another weak pass, but here comes Edgar, and this time he just goes high and deep.
Well, he digs, he hits, he blocks. He is a talent.
And
can he keep it going?
And at the technical timeout, he has put this Australian team up by 1 over the Canadians.
Get your tickets for next week, everyone. We need your help, we need your support. We need to fill this amazing arena. Grab the tickets now.
This is the last weekend of pool action in the World League as you take a look at Pool A, and there is a massive match coming up there.
That's right. Hard to imagine really, but Poland and Brazil scrapping for a spot in the final after Iran has already qualified. Brazil needs to win 3-1 or 3-0 to guarantee a ticket to the final 6. Otherwise, Poland will take their place.
Well, that would be a shocker, not having Brazil in a World League final. Can't remember when that last happened. We got a great rally here. Canada on the attack. The block's there though. And a joust at the net, but that's won by the Canadians.
Intensity from Dalasunias. He's focused, he's firing, he's using shots, and he's playing aggressive. That's what you want to see from your right side, and Dallas is getting it done for Canada tonight.
Well, and he flushed that one, no doubt. So Canada has come back to tie this set at 8. And we are 1 set apiece in the match. Make that Australia up by 1 at 9-8 on Sanderson's right side attack.
It's a quick set to that quick arm. Flat. Sanderson up on it. The timing's there.
And he gets a chance to put the ball in play with his big serve. But it's nicely passed. Ball is slowed down, and here come the Aussies. Kept alive by Canada. And this one off the block. Was it in? Was it out? Referee signals it was in. It was traveling so fast.
Well, Tom van Langveld came down raising his arm, trying to sell it right away, but this Australian monster wall takes the lights out of the building on Van Langveld.
And this ball touches a piece of the tape. It's a diving set. And it's another big shot. Was there a piece of the block? Not this time. Edgar, too deep.
Unforced errors again, keeping it close, keeping Canada hanging around. Australia letting them off the hook here.
Edgar just trying to go right over the top of the Canadian blockers there. But ran out of court. Sunias, tough serve. But Zingle is there for the ball.
Again, we see great production out of the Australian middles. Zukachev running it so well, mixing it up. Zingle and Moult working shots in both directions.
And there's a touch off the block. It's kept alive. Edgar. Edgar on the pass. And this one is just pounded off the block.
We talked about Edgar doing it all, and he does it again here. This bump set is on the money. Right outside, gives his hitter a chance. Nice and high. Great distance from the net. And it's Tom Douglas Powell finishing it off for Australia.
And Canada is trailing by 3 and have taken a timeout.
I feel sad. I point of view. A kaleidoscope of fans singing shut arms out.
Welcome back to World League action. Canada has fallen behind here in set number 3. Took a timeout to try to gather themselves. But Australia has another point opportunity. And there is a touch called by the up official. Dan Lewis waving his hand saying, no, not me.
Again, coming from the right side, Edgar. He's got that great snap at the finish of the arm swing, keeping the ball high, getting down. Lots of topspin.
And getting Canada out of trouble on that errant pass is number 7, the big man.
Paul Sanderson had to go on it in defense, but chopping kind of baseball swing there, shoveled it right off the side of the Australian court.
Van Lankveld played in Lyon this year, volleyball, and there's a one-man block there. Canadian Middle's late getting there, and you've got no chance against that big man.
Starts with the perfect pass, though. Sukachev, all the options. You can take a quick look, see if the middle blocker's holding with him, as Canada's reception starting to fall apart here a little bit.
And it's a carbon copy of the last match. Ball is in the seam. Lewis reaching for it instead of stepping out. Blankenau keeps the ball alive. Here comes Canada. The block's there. Another chance, though. Outside. And that ball is called out. The referee not going to take anything from Jason Duraco.
Get your boys signed, run this on. Get your tickets to next weekend. We need your help to
We'll have a look. Duraco on the outside for Canada. Fast set, tight. You can see the ball just grazing the antenna coming through. Duraco pleading that the blocker's hand touched it. But clearly there you can see it's the ball that got it first.
Yes, it was the right call by the official, and Canada's in trouble here in set number 3 as they are trailing the Volleyroos.
I know I've got to train hard today and harder tomorrow. To be number 1, you've got to train like you're number 2. I push myself for my team and my country.
RE7, rethink your drink.
The block of the match is brought to you by Travel Roller. To get the #1 selling foam roller in volleyball, go to travelroller.com.
We're not going too far back in time for the block of the match. It's Thomas Edgar and Aiden Zingle putting up a monstrous wall on Tom Van Langveld for the huge slam. 4 hands together, the giant trees getting it done for your Travel Roller block of the match.
So Coach Glenn Hogue from Canada going to the bench, bringing in Stephen Marshall. TJ Sanders back in. Float serve handled. And that's set into the middle. Perfect. A nice combination there.
Well, a key side out for Canada. They got to get back onto their game here. Great pass. Quick set. Duff putting it away. You can see mode is down, though. They're not giving any respect to the Canadian attack. He didn't even commit with that. The hands are down, flat-footed, expecting to go to the outsides.
So here come the Australians. This time the ball is dug, but they get another chance, and they go straight back to the middle, and it's another dig. And it's finished by Dallas Sunius. Gets a piece of the block, but great pace on the ball.
Stephen Marshall entering the match and making his presence felt, coming up with some digs there, firing the group up, touching hands, bringing some energy to court, crucial.
Dallas Sunius, the Red Deer native, having a great match for the Canadians in the opposite position. There's a tip. And the sprawling save by Vigras, but it can't be brought back.
Well, the hustle's there, they just can't get the result. Vigras with the read, he didn't get involved in the block. He's got to be responsible for the tip.
Canada down by 5. Big serve from Douglas Powell. But equal to the task is Dallas Sunius.
Well, Sunius making that one look easy. Canadian setter forced well off the net. Easier read for the Australian block. They got 2 up on him, but he goes smart, deep cross court, beating him. And again, very difficult to do when that set's coming from behind you as the setter comes off the net.
Sunius been playing pro ball for a number of years. Played in Korea, Poland, Spain, France, Indonesia, Turkey, Russia, and the United Arab Emirates. An amazing career he's had.
He needs a new passport. You see Australia going back to the money ball here up the middle. Mode again.
And this combination between Sukachev and his middles is outstanding, causing all kinds of grief for the Canadians. Nice dig from Sanders, keeps it alive. But it's a free ball. And the pipe finishes it this time. And great choices coming from the setter from Australia, Sukachev.
You see the difference in body language from the two teams here. Australia smiles, coming up, fist pumps. Canada starting to slump the shoulders, the heads are down. Australia can taste it here. They got all kinds of momentum. They're clicking on defense, and the transition game is cleaning everything up for them.
And Canada has called a timeout because they're down by 6, which gives us an opportunity to take a look at the Pool B standings. And again, another really important match in that pool.
That's right. We have Russia with Bulgaria, who has struggled throughout the entire World League. They beat them, took the full 3 points to tie the U.S., and now have another match with them to try to take first away from the U.S. Of course, only 2 teams moving on from this pool into the final 6.
Well, the amazing thing is the USA went 8-0 to start World League, and they have to be careful because they actually might end up in 3rd place at the end here and be out of the